Hey friends, Kat here at FreeBody, and I'm actually at home today. I'm recovering from a little surgery that I had last week. Everything's fine. I have a friend popping by in just a little bit who is preparing for a knee surgery. And so I was like, while I'm home, come on over, let me show you the 3 things you must do to prepare your body for knee surgery. So the 3 things you must do to prepare your body for knee surgery. Number 1, hydrate. Drink enough water, drink lots of water. But also in the book, right? Here's the book. Get it? Get the book. In the book, I also talk about why you must move, because your body doesn't know that it should retain the water you're drinking. You're just going to pee it out if you're sitting all day. And sitting makes the muscles tighter. It makes the fascia stickier, more likely to trap inflammation and tension. So you want to stop doing those, stop sitting too much, and you're going to have to get up and move. So first thing is hydrate, drink enough water and move. Use your percussion massager 2 or 3 times a day and do some strengthening. So my friend is arriving right now, and she's going to get on this video with me, and we're going to show you some things. So we're here with my friend Amanda Ray. Welcome, Amanda Ray.
Thank you.
And she just found out that she has bone on her right knee, and a bunch of arthritis. She's had pain in there for a long time. She's being advised to have knee replacement surgery. Looking at her x-rays, I agree with that idea. And so I'm going to show her and show you how to use your percussion massager to get ready and also to alleviate some of the pain. So when you have bone on bone or your body's in a protection mode, it's going to tense the muscles, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves are going to get funky. You're probably walking different and have just habituated to that, as you mentioned. So your muscles are off. They're going to keep gripping to try to create the stability that isn't there structurally. So it's going to just help you even just in your pain until you can have the knee replacement, to use your percussion massager. So one of the things I said was hydrate, drink lots of water, but again, you have to move a little bit. So movement for the, when we move, even if it's just this, like especially non-weight bearing movement, as much as you can throughout the day is so helpful, because that triggers the synovial fluid to be produced in the joint. It's going to give you as much natural fluid and cushion in the joint as possible. So non-weight bearing could just look like this. It can look like laying down on your back, which I'll do it later. But anything like when you're sitting, just kind of doing some swings, leg swings, stuff like that. It's always going to be helpful to use your percussion massager before you do any movement or before you do any strengthening. So I've got my Theragun Mini, and she's got the Flow Month.
I think it's from China on eBay.
Yeah, so the Chinese, one of the millions of Chinese options, and she bought this a few years ago, and it's great. Any kind of percussion massager is pretty darn good. So I'm going to show you how to use your percussion massager. What I do is I keep mine charged right next to the couch, and my deal with myself is that if I'm going to be on the couch watching TV, doing something like that, I got to use my percussion massager. So that way I'm not like, oh, I'm just laying on the couch. No, I'm actually doing some therapy for myself. And so that's a good rule to follow. So we're going to go like this. You're going to come up. Can you bring your leg? I left it kind of like a big old bed so that we could sit up. And can you get your leg up here?
Like bent like that?
Mm-hmm. No.
It will not bend like that.
Okay, great.
So then maybe if I could sit like this.
And let's just put a pillow, just prop yourself up, however it's going to work for you to prop yourself up, right?
Yeah.
And then just start doing some of this underneath. Yeah, turn it on. I've got her using the flat head because then I don't love the pointy, right? And so I'm just doing like inner thigh, especially for her because her outer knee is collapsed, which means her inner thighs are tight.
Oh, that's Yeah.
Right?
That's very tender.
It's very tender, right? Yeah, I know. And you're just going to keep going up and down, and you want to get way up by your business, like up high. Yeah,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, that almost feels like my IT band tender. Like, IT
It's
bands
so
are tender
I know.
on everybody.
I know. It's so tender. And those inner thighs, it's going to make such a difference. It's going to alleviate some of the compression of the outer knee by releasing the inner thighs. Okay. So you do that. You can also just hang out in a spot. It's good to do the up and down, but then you can just hang out in a spot. I don't use the pokey one, the pointy attachment, the bullet. Yeah, just like use the flat. That's better. Okay. And then you want to bring it into your right hand and just kind of do the top of your thigh. Yep.
Is it okay if my legs bent when I do it, or would you rather?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like this.
There you go. However you're comfortable.
That's less tender than the inside for some reason.
And then do the top, all along the top, especially up near the top on the femur. Come down a little bit. So here's the very top of the thigh. Here's the iliotibial band. I want you to be in that halfway between the two, right through there. Feel that? It's a little tender through there, right?
Yeah.
Here's the top. Here's the iliotibial band. She's going in between the two. Yes. And there's a little trigger point in here in the rectus femoris and some other spots that are going to be grabbing to try to give the stability to that knee that she's been lacking because of that. Yeah, it's tender, right? And so you don't have to push real hard. You can just kind of roll up and down.
Yeah, I'm really not putting much pressure at all.
But it's so tender.
It's very, you don't realize it either until you touch it.
Right, exactly. Yep, exactly. Yep.
That would explain why all those ultrasounds they did on the inside of my thighs hurt so bad.
Hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you're just going to keep finding ways to work the back toward the back now. So you're going to do the whole top, and then the back. So sometimes, what I do is sometimes you might come off the couch now and put the leg down and just do that. Yeah. Yep. And now she's just going up and down along those hamstrings. In this position, she could also get into the calf a little bit. So good. Right?
Good is not the word I would use.
Yeah, good is a relative term when you're doing this kind of stuff.
It's a good pain.
It's a good pain.
You can tell it's needed.
It's needed.
It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah. Great.
Well, especially when you live with pain for that long, like almost 3 decades, it's almost like you don't realize how messed up things are.
Truly. Well said. When you've been living with pain for decades, you don't realize how messed up things are. Okay, great. Now come back to the top of the thigh and just all along above the knee. Yep. All along above the knee.
Like just behind my patella?
Yeah, so just above it, you can go along the side, along the outside. Kind of, you don't want to go right on the knee joint or the kneecap. That would feel terrible and it would just bounce all over the place. Kind of surrounding the knee. You want to keep that circulation open. That looks great. And we're just going to do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to turn them off. And then you want to do the kind of non-weight bearing movement. So you can lay back or, and then just kind of hold it and do some movement. Yeah. For at least like 30 seconds. Non-weight bearing. Yep. It's cracking. I hear that. And that will get a little easier. We're going to do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. And then sit up and then just take a nice deep breath. Great. So you're going to want to do that a couple times a day. Right? And it'll get easier and it'll feel better because now you're nourishing your body and your tissues. So now we're actually going to go outside and I'm going to show you a couple things to do for strengthening. Okay. All right. So now we're outside. Okay. All right. And so couple things that really help to build strength and support around the knees is going up and down the stairs backwards.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
Right? So you just step up, 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 and down, 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 and then switch. So go ahead.
Okay.
Go backwards. Yep. Up, up, up. Yep. And down, down, down. And just do that 3 more times. I'm just going to make sure that this is working in the camera. Yep. Great. So keep going. What you're doing is you're actually activating different muscles and using the muscles almost in reverse, which actually creates some deep stability in the knee. Sometimes when I'm on my morning walk, I walk backwards up the hills, right? It helps my knees and it strengthens the glutes in a really good way, which helps to support the knees. How does that feel? It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, great. So then the next thing that I want you to do is we're just gonna come on down here. Yep, and then step your feet, you know, about a little wider than hip distance apart. Yep, and then just little tiny squats. And for you, you wanna look and make sure that your knee is not collapsing in.
It looks like they go right over the fronts of my toes.
Yep, and so you want to aim toward more like the middle toe. So you want to push that out a little bit more. There you go.
Okay.
We're going to open up that space a little bit. The more you keep those knees drawing in towards center, the more it's going to collapse in that outer knee section where you have it. So you're just going to push your knees a little wide. Now, this is a great thing to do when you're brushing your teeth. Okay. If you just did these little baby squats, pushing your knees wide, as you're brushing your teeth every day, you'd do like 100 squats a day. It's going to be enough strengthening of the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes to support you as you prepare for surgery.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Great. Do your backwards walking, use your percussion massager. You can also use your percussion massager after you do that strengthening, just to make sure that you're not holding tension, because what you want is tone and not tension.
So you said to do that a couple times a day, and is it beneficial if I do it more than a couple times a day?
You can do it more than a couple times a day.
So if I did it in the morning and night, and then I did it after I did my physical movements.
Physical therapy or whatever the strengthening movement is, or just after a long day at work, then you can just come do it. You can do it in 5 minutes, right? And that's just going to keep the inflammation moving. It's going to allow your fascia to kind of soften a little bit, and it's going to allow your muscles to release their tension. And tension in muscles always increases inflammation and pain. And the more inflammation you have stuck, the more sensitive the nerves are to pain. So one thing that we learned about fascia is that when inflammation gets stuck, your body will turn sensory receptors that are just meant to tell you where your body is into pain receptors. It's like it flips a magic switch. Suddenly these sensory receptors that are just kind of normal sensory receptors now are pain receptors in the presence of inflammation. So you have a lot of inflammation. Of course you have a lot of pain. That movement and also the percussion massager is going to help you move that inflammation along. That will decrease your pain.
And that to me makes sense of why it's been hard for me to, in my brain, recognize exactly what pain I'm in. Like,
exactly, because it's kind of all over and all the nerves are like, inflammation. Great. Thank you for being here with me today.
I love you.
I love you too. And so we wish you success in your knee surgery. Drop a comment and let me know how these exercises and these approaches to preparing for knee surgery, how that's working for you. And this is Kat here for FreeBody, where we help you learn about the body, understand pain, and give you simple skills and tools to get yourself out of pain and live the best life you can. See you in the next video.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome.